howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. And if you are a bigot, well, that is time for some reflection. I really like my new chair. There's only one thing that's a good thing that's also a bad thing, because I can roll so easily in this. Problem is, even just the pressure of setting my feet down, if they're not straight, 90-degree angles, just a slight angle of my feet like that pushes me backwards. And when I'm playing games, the pressure of my hands and arms using the mouse and the keyboard pushes me backwards. So I'm constantly having to bring myself forwards and move myself side to side because the chair moves easily. Thumbs up for that. I'm just hoping with the not incredibly high quality plasticky feeling that the plastic has, I'm hoping it's going to last more than a month. So here's hoping. Thumbs up on that. Anyway, though, I got some stuff written down up there, but first I wanted to mention this as well. I've got some, hopefully remembering to do this, some gameplay footage for Might and Magic 6 playing in the background or such of this. I didn't play it while I'm vlogging. I'm playing it over something that I played for that express purpose. But what I've mentioned, I think it was yesterday, how there is a disconnect when I'm vlogging and gaming, because vlogging requires at least 80% of your attention, and gaming requires at least 80% of your attention or more, depending on the game. So if you add them together, there's a huge disconnect, because you're not going to be playing as well because you're vlogging, and you're not going to be vlogging as well because you're playing. So what I was thinking of doing was challenge vlogs, where I'm having to play games like Doom Eternal, where vast violence and you have to think quickly and all that, and vlog while doing that as challenge vlogging. We shall see. We shall see. I enjoy doing the vlogging while I'm playing games because, like I've mentioned before, I basically vlog while I'm also playing games. I talk about whatever is on my mind, which is what I do when I'm vlogging. So I'm used to that part of it, but having to think quickly and is not exactly something I've spent a lot of time doing while vlogging. So, thumbs up. Also, other things that I have up here. I didn't do much yesterday, but there was so much done, and I just now remembered while watching a Readings of Tumblr stuff by a guy called PM Seymour, PZ Seymour, something Seymour. And one of the memes was about how there's two ADHD modes of working. It's either I have one thing to do, it's only 5 minutes of task, but I have an appointment in 6 hours, so I'm not going to be able to get anything done. Or the second, well, I have a task that takes 5 hours to do, so I'm just going to leave it for tomorrow before work. You're going to do one or the other. And with everything that I did yesterday, it just reminded me, I get mushed up from therapy, and then adding my doctor's appointment on top of that, a lot of decompression time, and I just didn't do much after that because of decompressing, playing games, doing things like that, going out for walkies, which I did for a second time. I did the walkies to go to the doctor's appointment, which is I always underestimate the amount of time it takes me to walk to the hospital. It seems like it should be a 5-minute walk. In reality, it's closer to a 20-minute walk. So I did that, and so I did a second smaller walk in the second part of the day. But, and off on another tangent, ADHD brain, with the amount of steps that you're supposed to take, there is no you're supposed to take. You know, you don't have to take 10,000 steps in a day. But the more steps you do take, the better for you. But any steps is good. 1,000 steps in a day is good for you. 2,000 steps in a day, better for you. If you do 3,000 steps in a day, you're doing a whole lot better than the person that did 2,000 steps. But the person that did 2,000 steps did good. There is no wrong number of steps, because any amount of walking is good, but you don't have to shoot for an arbitrary goal. 3,000 steps in a day, which is pretty easy. On the short, like 3-mile walk that I'll make, if I stretch it, it's 3 miles. Less than a third of that, and I was already up to 2,000 steps counting. So it's not hard to do it if you want to go out, and any amount is good, because 1,000 steps is better than no steps. And I just thought I'd mention that because I did do the walkies. And again, playing games. Yay. Also, I can't remember what I was watching. I think it was an MK Reddit reading thing where there was a height chart. And I was suddenly like, bing, because I needed a good visualization in my head of, I keep speaking of my solo RPG setting, where on the continent of Karthkog are the 3 species of the Hulat, which are basically just people that speciated away from the other speciations of human. Well, not really human, but point being, there's the Orkani. They're very tall, averaging around 6.5 feet tall. And there's the Habani, about 5'6", 5.5 feet tall. Whatever 5.5 feet tall it works out to. I can't get it in my head, but they're our heightish. And then there's the Apani that are 4.5 feet tall. Well, I've never been able to actually get that straight in my head about what that looks like, because I find it difficult to visualize anything at all. If I can visualize things, it's only for like a brief instant before it is back into the gray void. So, yay on that. But I went to this one place where you can type in heights and find out what that looks like comparative for other people. The person did this to is an artist's the thing you look at reference as an artist reference. But I typed in the numbers for the Orkani, for the Habani, and the Apani. The Apani are not like just 2 inches tall. And yeah, I finally got a full visualization. When you compare the Orkani to the Habani, yeah, tall, but any 6'5", 6'6" and such person, that's how tall they are. But when you put the Apani next to them, it's like the tippy top of an Apani head is right about on a male Apani at nipple height. They are short. So, thumbs up on that. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it was interesting. And also, here's another thing that I do have written down, because I have some games here, physical games, and I was just thinking after writing them down, because there's this one that I can't remember when I got it, of course, and I can't remember if I've showed it off, of course, so I just thought it'd be interesting to start again. But I want to play these games for the channel again. But me owning things in these small places with no real place to put the stuff that I own, I've used up the table behind me that I was originally just going to use for games. And taking all that stuff off the table every single time and then putting it back on. Above and beyond my ADHD executive function, having as many spoons necessary to be able to do that sort of thing. I can't. I need a different table area. And the tables that which isn't bad, because I could set up a table here, small, that's big enough to play any of these games on. I just need to get the table. And with everything costing, and me on disability, or, at this point, I think it's regular Social Security that I'm on. Because at one point, the people from disability were doing one of the, every once in a while, you need a review. And they were saying this should carry you over until you're 62, at which point Social Security should take over. So it may be I'm on that now. So, yay. But I can't remember what I was talking about that on for. Oh, yes, I think it was about things. So, anyway, though, even though I can't really play this, I do want to give it a really quick show if I haven't shown it to you before. You're on a spaceship where you've got to go traveling through various parts of the ship so that you can go through all these floors on the craft, taking care of, there's items and loot and creatures and encounters, and you're trying to get through 52 levels, but you don't have to do every single level trying to get the ship here. These are this is the plotting of the ship, but you don't have to fight all the way through each floor between. You can jump up 10, 20 floors at a shot when you get into finish a floor. So you're only maybe going through 10 floors maximum before you get up to deck 52, at which point you gotta leave. Some horrible catastrophic thing happened to your ship. You gotta escape. They just put them in tiny little rules because it's in a mint box. And I gotta pick up the cards and put them into the box so that they don't just fly everywhere. And then the other one, which, again, not exactly sure, but I was digging through my stuff, Decayed. And this one is you're going through a hospital where, again, something happened. So you're either, any one of these three survivors, and then you've got any one of these various horrific things that you want to not be taken away and destroyed by. And so you're going through a hospital, and there's cards, of course, and so that you can randomly make it through. So just thought I'd mention, I got this stuff, I'd like to talk about it. I like to talk about the stuff I'm interested in. I also want to play this stuff one day, but again, I've said so much that my being able to just take it down and leaf through the rules and look at the cards is almost as much fun as actually playing it for me. So, thumbs up. That's one of the reasons I end up owning stuff when I want to be more minimalist again. Not massively minimalist, just more minimalist, because full table back there. But we shall see. It's fun owning things as long as you look at it as just a temporary thing, because stuff is just stuff. Stuff doesn't matter. But let's see. I do play an internet game of Marco Polo of sorts, where I call out a secret word in the hopes that anyone listening may type it into the comments section. For one, blatant engagement in farming, and two, I'm listening to see if anyone calls back from my call into the ether. It's nice when people do, but never feel obligated. It is a silly little game, and you don't have to play, and you shouldn't feel bad if you don't, and if you do, please don't. But we have Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you. I greatly appreciate your continued watching and commenting. Thumbs up and thank you very much. My long distance online watching people online on YouTube friend. It is appreciated. We have Salvatore Cento, which I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing my last name correctly. 871, thumbs up and thank you. Stephen Blanchard, 6833. I have mentioned that I plan on doing some challenge vlogging here soon. So thumbs up. We have Caitlin, 6723. Thumbs up and thank you if you are watching for all of the comments that you leave. Comments are appreciated. I like them very much. Never worry about leaving too large of a comment. I prefer larger ones over longer ones, but I'm never going to ask anyone to write me a book as a comment. So if you just want to type the secret word, nothing else, that's fine too. But we have I am on the net. Thumbs up and thank you. Now, I've got to try and pronounce this properly, like it's actually being flipped and played backwards. But it's Reliet 1. Thumbs up and thank you. And then we have a fun to say name for my mouth, Slinkadoo. There are certain things to say that my mouth really likes to say, which again, I'm going to say this one. The name Hallerlo Prillilar out of Ringworld Engineers by the author Larry Niven, that by this time is probably 40 at least years old. So, but it's fun to say certain things, and my mouth really likes to do that. And Slinkadoo is one of those. So, son of a gun. And then we have Chris, thumbs up and thank you. Greatly appreciated. And greatly appreciated each and every one of you that plays this silly little game of mine. And we might as well, if you have watched this far, if you could type the word decayed into the comments for, again, one, blatant engagement farming, just to let the YouTube algorithm know that people do actually watch the videos. And two, I'm listening to see if anyone calls back. It's nice to know. And I say this on a general sense, not a specific sense. But in general, it is nice to know that, especially in a situation like this, that there are people out there. Because it's easy, especially in my case, for people to forget that. Take a look at the people that do scams and harm people online. They're forgetting the real people they're hurting. Now, let's see. What else do I have? Absolutely nothing at all, except for I am going to... Well, I wanted to talk about Utak. I mentioned yesterday how there's this powerful being on the Razor's Edge setting that I have where it's Utak. And Utak is an ambush predator. And they don't actively go out and seek. They wait for prey to come to them. Now, in the past, as an immature being, whenever they had been discovered and people were looking for them, they always ran. They had the power to do more, but ran. Now the character they're getting their spine up now that they've been discovered again, and they're like, no, this is my home. I'm not leaving. I am not running. Now I say again that in our terms, Utak is evil because they devour human beings. But again, they don't go out and hunt. It's ambush predator. You come to them. But it is and isn't that, because while Utak is not evil, they need to survive. And it was not their choice to be made in a way that they need to eat people. So they do. We call that evil because we're the victim pool. But, itchy nose today. But they are vile in the way that they do it because they prey on a specific type of person. And they're able to send out these streamers through the various layers on the razor's edge so that anyone who's of this specific type of person will get tangled up in it and end up in Utak's lair, where Utak will feed. Thing is, it's not fair, because while you have to go to Utak, you are being manipulated so horrifically it is not even funny. You have no chance once you are caught in that web. The vile part is the type of person that Utak seeks is the type of person that is close to the line for self-deletion. And these people get snagged on these webs. And the manipulation that they get pushes them towards self-deletion until they finally end up in front of the southern exit at the crossroads of the Razor's Edge, which is the entrance to Utak's lair, and they walk through. Now, for people that aren't trapped like these individuals, better to die slowly in a fire over a month-long period than to be caught in Utak's claws. Because Utak, again, while not evil, needs to get the best nutrition and flavor and such from their prey. And they have found that the best physical state for a human being to be in is in a state of profound, absolute physical agony. And the best mental state is, again, absolute not physical, but absolute mental terror. And it takes 2 weeks to die. Better to die in a fire than to let Utak get their claws into you. But they're not evil, but they are vile. And of course, call to action time. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very, very cool. Definitely appreciated for each and every one of my Patreon patrons. You are beautiful and awesome people. Now, it was mentioned in comments that it was hard to find my various links that I have, especially for like my Patreon. I moved the links to the top of my video description. So if you wanted to check that out, I'm not going to tell you to check that out because this is all voluntary. If you prefer to check it out, the links have been moved to the top of the list. So, thumbs up. And, of course, each and every person that leaves me a comment, you are appreciated as well. I read as many as YouTube shows me. I thumbs up, and when I can't do that, I heart comments. So, that's good, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me, which is not as many as I would like, but it is some. So check back up to 24 hours later and I will have answered at least as many as I can. Well, so thumbs up. I'm going to edit, render, take care of myself as best I can, which involves going out for walkies and playing video games, watching videos while I play video games. So thumbs up on that. As well as, again, all these things. So I got stuff to do to keep myself at least mildly occupied. And hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done today. And if not, please do not beat yourself up. It will not help you get it done better next time. And trust me, you deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, quite frankly, a very, very good thing. Oh, yeah, and then the hand symbol.